Right now, as you watch this video, you're exercising at least 3 constitutional rights without knowing it. Most Americans think they know the Bill of Rights, but fewer than 30% can actually name more than 2 amendments. That changes in the next 6 minutes. Now, I'm sure you've heard of the First Amendment before. It's our right to free speech, right? While that's certainly part of it, the First Amendment has a lot more to offer than that. In fact, it prohibits Congress from establishing a state religion. I wonder why that's important right now. And ensures people can freely practice their religion without government interference. It also gives us the very important ability to petition the government to make changes. Speaking of which, if you want to find and speak with your Congress members on the federal level, the link is in the description. Now, why does this amendment exist? Well, a man by the name of John Peter Zenger published a not-so-nice article about the governor of New York in the 1730s, and was basically sued for slander. Oh, America, you never change. Either way, Zenger was technically guilty under English law, but the jury let him go anyway. This was a landmark legal case for free speech, and is looked at as the basis of the First Amendment today. While the First Amendment focuses on the power of words and ideas, the Second Amendment is all about something a bit louder. Now, you may have heard the absolutely insane statistic that there are more firearms than people in America. You can thank the Second Amendment for that. The Second Amendment is, in a word, guns. In 41 words, the Second Amendment states that a well-organized militia is needed to maintain the security of a free state. Because of that, the people have the right to keep and bear or use arms, and this right shall not be infringed. If you ask any European, this is the quintessential American law. But in truth, questions over the extent to which people can own and use certain weapons have come into question in recent times. That's out of the scope for this video, but certainly something to keep in mind. This amendment has a much more straightforward reasoning for its existence. The Founding Fathers, having just fought a war with a tyrannical British government, wanted to make sure such an event would never happen again. So, by allowing the citizenry to arm itself, the founders hoped to prevent future governments from acting in the same way King George did. But tyranny comes in all shapes and sizes, as we will see with the Third Amendment. The Third Amendment might seem pointless today, but it solved the colonists' biggest nightmare. Imagine a group of Marines showing up at your door, eating your food, sleeping in your bed, and treating your house like their personal hotel. That's exactly what happened under the Quartering Acts, and it was so traumatic that the founders made sure it could never happen again. In fact, this amendment prevented what could have been the death of personal liberty in early American history. As a bit of a common theme amongst these first 5, the Fourth Amendment just so happens to be a response to another British crackdown on unruly Americans. This amendment also finds its roots in crimes committed by American colonists. See, the British had laws preventing the colonies from trading with other European countries. Instead of following the law, we instead smuggled foreign goods into the colonies and hid them in houses. The British attempted to crack down on this by searching homes even when they didn't have probable cause, leading to this amendment. The Fourth Amendment states that the government cannot conduct searches and seizures or issue warrants unless there is probable cause. Basically, if the police want to search your home, they can't unless they have a warrant based on solid reasons to do so. Speaking of protecting your rights in tricky situations, the Fifth Amendment takes that idea even further, particularly when you're already in the courtroom. I'm sure you've heard the whole "I plead the Fifth" in a whole bunch of movies and TV shows, but Hollywood isn't exactly a trusty source for legal help. In reality, the Fifth Amendment says that you have these key rights: indictments for federal crimes, protections against double jeopardy,
French slang, 400.
Some French people hold un clope, one of these, between 2 fingers outside a bistro, as they contemplate life's meaning. Alex.
What is a baguette?
Sorry, no. A little easier to hold than a baguette, a cigarette.
No, not that jeopardy. It means you can't be prosecuted for the same crime twice. The Fifth Amendment also gives you the right to avoid self-incrimination, due process, and compensation when the government takes your property for public use. All in all, this amendment attempts to prevent government overreach in legal proceedings. To sum up, the First Amendment gives you freedom of expression, both politically and religiously. The Second gives you the right to bear arms. The Third, to stop soldiers from sleeping in your basement. fourth prevents police overreach, and the fifth gives you the legal protections you need to have a fighting chance in court. But that's not all the Bill of Rights has to offer. In fact, we're just getting started. In the next video, I'll tell you all about the next 5 amendments to the Constitution, and why you have the right to a jury trial in this country. If you learned something today, leave a comment on which amendment you think has the most impact in your life, and I'll pin the one that I think is the most interesting. Don't hesitate to ask any questions you might still have. I'll be sure to either answer you there or in a future video. If you want to see more content like this, check out the playlist on the end screen now. If that doesn't look too interesting, take a look at the other video for something I think you'll like. This has been the Civic Guide, and I'll see you in the next video.